It means what?
Being sensitive to other people's plight. It means putting yourself in people's shoes to know how they feel. Do you understand? It's the ability to imagine the pains people are going through. In the scriptural book of Romans chapter 10 verse 15, it says, rejoice with those that are rejoicing and mourn with those that are mourning. Simply put, it means feel what people feel. If you're observant enough, it's not difficult to pinpoint people with empathy and those without empathy. There are certain people, they can't face or see someone going through pain or challenges without showing concern.
For example, if you are sharpening your pencil with a razor and you mistakenly cut your end, check people around you. There are certain people that will show in their facial expression empathy. Do you understand? It will be as if it was their end that was being cut. Why? Such kind of people have empathy. Why? There are certain kind of people, even if someone drops dead close to them, it doesn't mean a thing to them. It doesn't mean a thing to them. They won't even blink an eyelid. They may even step on the corpse and walk away. Such kind of people lack empathy. I can tell someone with empathy, or I can rate someone's level of empathy by observing how they treat people around them. How do you treat your gate man? How do you treat the waiter or the waitress at the bar or the restaurant? How do you treat your cook or your chef? How do you treat your driver? These are pointers to your level of empathy.
Now we live in a world with so much humans, but with very little humanity. In this world we are in right now, mankind is not that kind anymore. We've heard or seen situations where there is an accident, and in the accident scene, rather than for people to offer succor to alleviate the pains of the victims, they rather bring out their phones and make videos to create content, leaving people to bleed to their deaths. Such kind of people lack empathy. Most of our political leaders, they lack empathy because they don't feel what the masses are feeling. They send their children abroad for schooling. They travel abroad for medical checkups for as little as headache. While our health and educational sector suffer loss. A lot of women, there's high rate of maternal mortality in rural areas because our health system is down. Most of these politicians don't even know the cost of foodstuff. They don't feel what the masses feel. So they don't feel what you and I are feeling. They lack empathy. Now you as learners, some of you lack empathy. How do I mean? You want to see your fellow learners fail in exams. Some of you hide your classmates' notes during examination period, not minding how the person is going to cope, how the person is going to read, what is going to become the fate of the person. Please, you are making noise. Yes. Do you understand? Anybody that does that lacks empathy. Now you have to show empathy to your parents. How? Your parents also money to pay your school fees, feed you, clothe you, accommodate you, and send you to school. You will come to school, you will not copy notes. You will not do your assignments. You will not pay attention in class. You will not study your books so you can get good grades. You lack empathy. You have to show empathy to your school, Elevado school. You are the signboard of this school.
Are you hearing?
You are the signboard of this school. Your character and your behavioral pattern either market or the markets this school. Imagine a parent bringing his or her child into the school compound to enroll him or her in this school and see somehow the school is rowdy and noisy. He or she may want to have a routine. So you have to show empathy to your school. Show empathy to your teachers. Show empathy to your what? Teachers. How do I mean? How do you do this? By listening attentively in class. Some of us, we go home every day feeling headache because we're trying to teach in a rowdy class. You don't do your assignment, you don't copy your notes, you are putting your teacher's job on the line. You have to show empathy towards your teacher.
Now, scripturally,
the King James version of the Bible translates empathy to compassion. Say compassion. And Jesus Christ, our perfect example, is a man of compassion. In several scriptures, it is recorded that Jesus Christ showed compassion. And compassion or empathy is a template to stir up the supernatural. You, why are you backing the assembly? Compassion or empathy is a template to stir up the supernatural and is a precursor for the miraculous. I will give you two vivid examples in scriptures where Jesus showed empathy. Now, the first one, now usually Jesus Christ is both a prophet and a teacher, but he identified himself most as a teacher. That's why he's being called rabbi. A rabbi in the Hebrew word means teacher. Most times he teaches multitudes for days. He teaches multitudes for days. And at some point, he became concerned about their faith, their plight. Like, what are these people going to eat? He had compassion on them. And this was a template for the multiplication miracle of how many bread, how many fishes?
5 loaves of bread and 3 fishes.
Good, in the Bible. Do you see that?
empathy or compassion is a template for miraculous.
Now, the second example I'm going to give you in John chapter 11, verse 35, the shortest verse in the Bible. What did he say? What did he say? Now, Jesus Christ was at the tomb of Lazarus. He felt the plight. He wept at the plight of a young man, Lazarus, whose life was cut short before his prime. He wept at the plight, at the grieving family, and friends within the vicinity. And that was a precursor for the resurrection miracle of Lazarus. Do you understand me? Now, when you show empathy towards people's challenges, pains, and plight, God gives you the ability, empowers you to be a solution or part of the solution to their problems. I've given you this two of Jesus, right? He had compassion on them and he solved their problem. Now let me give you one other example. Moses in Egypt. Moses was moved by the plight of the Israelites. You know, they were under slavery in Egypt, right? He was so moved by the plight of the Israelites that at the point some Egyptian boys were trying to oppress an Israelite. They had to fight for the Israelites, right? And mistakenly one of the Egyptians died. Is it not? Now he had to go into exile just to escape the consequences of murder. Now some of you may not know the enormity or the gravity of Moses' exile. Moses was a prince. Moses was a prince in Egypt. He was living in Pharaoh's palace. He was living a VIP life. Okay? Now he went into exile, into something like a slavery. He was not tending sheep for someone. Just imagine someone living Aso Rock to be farming at Otokutu. Are you seeing it? Now, God saw his heart, saw his empathy, saw his compassion for the Israelites, and God had to empower him to become their deliverer, to become the solution to their problems. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? Now, I want to urge you today not to glory in other people's shame, not to take gain in other people's pain, and not to pleasure in other people's hurts. Do you understand me? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now we are going to pray a simple prayer now. We are going to pray a simple prayer. We are going to say, God, from me. Remove the stony heart from me and give me a human heart. Give me a heart. Give me. Are you praying? Are you praying? Give me a human heart. Give me a heart. Give me a heart of empathy. Give me a heart to feel people's plight.